It is evident that nothing evil can come into existence apart from our free choice. Sin is the real serpent, and whoever deserts to sin takes on the nature of the serpent. Pleasure is truly like evil's bait. When it is thrown out lightly, it draws gluttonous souls to the fishhook of destruction. Sandaled feet cannot ascend that height where the light of truth is seen, but the dead and earthly covering of skins, which was placed around our nature at the beginning when we were found naked because of disobedience to the divine will, must be removed from the feet of the soul. Paradise, therefore, will be restored. That tree will be restored which is in the truth, the tree of life. There will be restored the grace of the image, and the dignity of rule. It does not seem to me that our hopes is one for those things which are now subjected by God to man for the necessary uses of life, but one for another kingdom, of a description that belongs to unspeakable mysteries. For he who made man for participation in his own good things, and who fashioned in his nature the means for all things that are good for him, so that the appetite might in each case be carried appropriately toward what is similar, did not rob man of the best and most honorable of good things, I mean the grace of independence and self-determination. Therefore, this is the property of self-determination, to choose at will what is desired. It is not God who is the cause of your present evils, who fashioned your nature both independent and uncontrolled, but your thoughtlessness, which chose the inferior in place of the superior. We are in some manner our own parents, giving birth to ourselves by our own free choice in accordance with whatever we wish to be, whether male or female, molding ourselves to the teaching of virtue or vice. The fight of the Egyptian against the Hebrew is like the fight of idolatry against true religion, of licentiousness against self-control, of injustice against righteousness, of arrogance against humility, and of everything against what is perceived by its opposite. We learn also the mystery of the Virgin, the light of divinity which through birth shone from her into human life did not consume the burning bush, even as the flower of her virginity was not withered by giving birth. When the hand of the lawgiver was extended from Moses' bosom, it was changed to an unnatural complexion, and when placed again in his bosom, it returned to its own natural beauty. Again, the only begotten God who is in the bosom of the Father is he who is the right hand of the Most High. The teaching is clear. For if the father of sin is called a serpent by Holy Scripture, and what is born of the serpent is certainly a serpent, it follows that sin is synonymous with the one who begot it. But the apostolic word testifies that the Lord was made into sin for our sake by being invested with our sinful nature. This figure therefore is rightly applied to the Lord. For if sin is a serpent and the Lord became sin, the logical conclusion should be evident to all. By becoming sin he became also a serpent, which is nothing other than sin. For our sake he became a serpent, that he might devour and consume the Egyptian serpents produced by the sorcerers. Indeed, moral and natural philosophy may become at certain times a comrade, friend, and companion of life to the higher way, provided that the offspring of this union introduce nothing of a foreign defilement. There is a doctrine which derives its trustworthiness from the tradition of the fathers, which says that after our nature fell into sin, God did not disregard our fall and withhold his providence. No, on the one hand, he appointed an angel with an incorporeal nature to help in the life of each person, and, on the other hand, he also appointed the corrupter who, by an evil and maleficent demon, afflicts the life of man and contrives against our nature. Those then who for a short time have lived with these sordid and fraud-like thoughts, if they look to him who stretched forth his hands on our behalf, are set free from their evil life as their passion is put to death and left stinking. If anyone is truly an Israelite, a son of Abraham, and looks to him in life in such a way as to show by his own free will his kinship in race to the elect people, he is kept unharmed from the painful fire. To the one who has lived without sin there is no darkness, no worm, no Gehenna, no fire, nor any other of these fearful names and things, as indeed the history goes on to say that the plagues of Egypt were not meant for the Hebrews. The history all but cries out to you not to be presumptuous in giving advice to your hearers in your teaching unless the ability for this has been perfected in you by a long and exacting training such as Moses had. Those who pass through the mystical water in baptism must put to death in the water the whole phalanx of evil such as covetousness, unbridled desire, rapacious thinking, the passion of conceit and arrogance, wild impulse, wrath, anger, malice, envy, and all such things. Since the passions naturally pursue our nature, we must put to death in the water both the base movements of the mind and the acts which issue from them. This bread, then, that does not come from the earth is the Word. He changes his power in diverse ways to suit those who eat. He knows not only to be bread but also to become milk and meat and greens and whatever else might be appropriate to and desired by the one who receives him. Religious virtue is divided into two parts, into that which pertains to the divine and that which pertains to right conduct, for purity of life is a part of religion. The person who lacks moderation is a libertine, and he who goes beyond moderation has his conscience branded. We regard falling from God's friendship as the only thing dreadful, and we consider becoming God's friend the only thing worthy of honor and desire. This, as I have said, is the perfection of life. Bereaving this bodily nature, we should be close to what rises upwards and is light and airy, in order that when we hear the last trumpet, we may be found weightless and light in responding to the voice of the one who calls us. Then we shall be borne on high through the air to be together with the Lord, not drawn down to earth by anything heavy.